Angelique Andrea with Human Places LLC and Weichert Realtors. I'm just coming to you today to talk to you about the home buying process and run you through each step of that process from start to finish. So this will be a really quick overview of that entire process, and then in future videos we'll talk about each step in more detail. The first step in that process is for you and I to sit down and have a buyer consultation where we talk about what all of your wants and needs in a new home are, what your timelines are, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what kind of price range you're looking at, and that sort of thing. From there, we will talk about your mortgage pre-approval and make sure that we have that in place, because if we find anything that you want to make an offer on, we will have to have that mortgage pre-approval letter to submit with your offer. So very important that we actually have that in hand before we go to start looking at homes. From there, we will start searching for homes. I'll set you up with a search, and when we find things that you're interested in seeing, there's a couple of different ways that we can do this. Right now, with things being kind of shut down and maybe people not being comfortable with having people coming through their homes, or you not comfortable going through too many homes right now, we're doing a lot of things virtually these days. So you might find 10 homes that you're interested in seeing. I can show you those virtually, or I can go and take a video and send them to you. From there, maybe you narrow it down to two that you're like, these two homes really hit the mark for us, and we'd really like to see those in person. And then we figure out a safe way for you to be able to view those homes. So we provide masks and gloves and hand sanitizer and make sure that we get there before you to open everything up, so you have to touch as little as possible, and we'll talk more about that. But so leading you through that process as safely as possible is really key for us. And once you find a home you're loved, then we'll sit down and work out making an offer. And we'll have a future video on the offer process, but it's really a lot more than just coming up with an offer price. There's a lot of different elements to the offer. But then I will help you negotiate that offer and reach an agreement and write that contract of sale. Then we will arrange for the appraisal. If you're using a lender, they'll will require an appraisal of the home and any kind of inspections that need to take place. So most people will have a home inspection. Some homes are sold as is, but I will arrange those inspections for you and attend inspections unless we're in a COVID-19 situation where they need to be done virtually or something. But again, we'll work that out depending on what kind of time frame we're in. And then negotiate the home inspection items with you. From there, we'll talk about insurance and title and home warranty. Again, those are all things that Weichert has under our all under one roof concept. Of course, if you have your own insurance or title providers that you want to use, we can use those, but we try to make things as easy as possible for you by having our preferred providers at the ready as well. And then we will work on all of our closing confirmations, do our walkthrough and make sure that everything that we agreed upon with the inspection negotiations was completed, and you're being left with a home that we agreed that you would be left with. And all the way along, I'm working to make sure that you understand what your closing costs are going to be. Up front, at the very beginning, it's kind of an estimate where we get you as close as possible. And as we continue down the road, we get closer and closer to knowing exactly what those are going to be. And I work very hard to keep you updated so that you know as close to the penny as we can get what you're going to need to bring to the closing table. And we have our final walkthrough, and we go to closing. And usually on the day of closing is when you take possession of the home, unless there are rent backs or something like that going on. So that's sort of the process from start to finish, and there are a lot of steps to it. So feel free to comment or call me with questions, 703 501 6935. I would love to hear from you. Thanks.